Quote number 1. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. This means that if you are doing what 99% of the people are doing, you should stop yourself and question your actions and beliefs. Sometimes following the crowd disrupts your own individuality, which means that you lose what you actually are, inside of you. In this world, the masses have the herd mentality, that is, people tend to conform to others very easily. If you really want to have the mentality of a lion, you must think differently and question every aspect of your life. One thing to learn from this is that you must keep questioning yourself in all areas of life so that you keep growing. Quote number 2. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. This means that if you are completely honest with your words, then you don't need to recall anything in life. A person who tends to lie about different things has to remember what lies he or she has told and to whom. A truthful person is free from this burden of mind because he speaks only the truth. Sometimes the lie of a person is comprehensive, so he or she actually has to do all the effort to keep in mind all the details of that lie so that his or her lie is not caught at any point in time. Sometimes there is an array of lies which is created because to cover one lie, a person might tell another lie, and so on and so forth. One thing to learn here is that we must not tell lies so that we are free from the burden of lies. Quote number 3. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. This means that anger is an emotion which is more harmful for the person in which it is provoked than the person on which anger is actually expressed. Anger is a strong acid which attempts to corrode the mind of an individual inside his or her head. Anger is also something which, if not taken out, tends to augment in intensity. In chemical language, the acid, anger, become more acidic and increases in volume over time. If allowed to build inside, anger may be taken out in situations in which it is not needed or in other aspects of life which are more vulnerable to loss. One thing to understand here is that we should use anger in the right way, that is, use it to motivate ourselves to work harder and longer so that we can actually benefit in life. Quote number 4. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. This means that bravery is not actually lack of fear, because if we have lack of fear all the time in our life, we are likely to bear big losses in life. If there is absence of fear, we will be blind to all the risks and hazards involved with doing something. To conquer fear, we must understand what is fear. Most of the fear we have is because of uncertainty. If we fully understand that there will always be uncertainty in our life no matter what, we actually now have conquered fear. To rebel fear actually means not giving up and doing something that we actually believe in by keeping a check on all risks involved. One thing to learn here is that fear must be conquered so that we are actually free from fear. Quote number 5. Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities, truth isn't. This means that truth is unfamiliar and fiction is somewhat familiar. This is because there are different possibilities in case of fiction which can be imagined by our mind. But in case of truth, there can be no imaginations and no probabilities. Truth is 100% genuine. There are no questions left to answer when one finally reaches the truth. But to reach the truth many times is an impossible task. You have to go through excessive processes of questioning, thinking and reasoning to get to the truth. You need to have a lot of patience to find the truth. There are no gaps left in case of truth. One thing to learn here is that however strange truth may be, we should seek it because truth is simple and always show the person what is happening around in reality. Quote number 6. The lack of money is the root of all evil. This means that if someone does not have money for survival, he or she is bound to travel on the path of the devil. Many a times we see people stealing from others, harming or even killing other people for money. This happens actually because a person does not have money in his or her pocket to satisfy his or her basic needs. People are often found showing their anger and frustration on other people around them. This happens because they don't have money, and money is perhaps the most important thing we need to ensure our survival. One thing to learn here is that we should try to earn money using fair means so that our mind doesn't get polluted with evil. Quote number 7. The right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. This means that using a right word at the right place and at the right time may be impactful in some ways, but silence has more influence than speech. If we take the example of music, the most beautiful pieces of music actually have those magical silent moments in them which actually makes them great. These pauses actually create the variety in a musical piece. In case of speech, pauses play a great role in alerting the audience and grabbing their attention back again. Another way to understand this is that many people take pauses or breaks after they have accomplished a time-taking task. That pause is very effective because it plays a major role in revitalizing your body and mind, and when you continue the work, you are likely to be more efficient and focused than you were before. One thing to learn here is that we should embrace these pauses in our lives because they actually come back much more strongly.